What's going on, guys? Today I got a 2024 CBR650R, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of this big old whale tail here. Get rid of that. We're upgrading to this tail tidy kit that I got from Amazon, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it and overall looks, because I mean, not many people really like this big old whale tail. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. Now, in order to get this back piece off, you're going to need to get access to under the seat. You're going to need to take off this rear fairing here. Now, you're going to have to take the seat off, and you're going to have to take this front seat off in order to get this piece here, because there are some bolts in here that we got to get to, because we need to take this off to get to the bolts that hold this rear piece on. So start by taking off your rear seat, and then I'll show you inside. So once you get the rear seat off, to get this front seat off, there's two 5mm Allen keys, Allen heads here. So you need to take those two out, and then once you get those out, you can go ahead and remove the front seat, which then gives you access to these other two bolts here, which we're going to need to take off. Now, at the rear of the bike, you do have these two push clips. All you gotta do is take like a little flathead or something and just push it in, and then it should come loose, and then you can go ahead and peel this part up and out. Now, in order to take this rear piece off, you're gonna want to kind of like lift it a little bit and push it out, because as you can see, these little clips kind of push in and slide. So that's how you're gonna get this part off. All right, so in order to get this side cover off here, once you take out the two 5mm bolts here and here, and you got the push clip here, I went ahead and I took off this front cover here. As you can see, it's literally just held in by Velcro and this rubber tab, and there's actually a 5mm screw there as well. And then you can go ahead and peel this part out. That way I was able to, well, you can take, there's another push clip right next to the battery. If you can see it down there, there's a small push clip, which you can then use to get this part out. And then there is another push clip down here, right where your spare tools will be. There's a push clip that goes right there. You push that in, and then you should be able to access this to come out. So that is what you got to do in order to get this whole side piece out. You may be able to get away with not doing this section over here, but they're all clipped in together, so I just went ahead and took it out. Makes it easier, and then that way you can get this whole piece out. So that's how you gain access to this side panel. So starting with this other side here, so you can see it in one full go, you go ahead and take out this Allen key, and then this Allen key, this Allen key on the side, and then once you get that key out, you can go ahead and peel this back. And then there is just a clip that just kind of slides out this way. And then you've got this push clip here. You've got one here. And then there is, and the last one in here, if you're looking where your spare tools go, look right next to it, and it's kind of hidden under these wires, but that is where your last push clip is, and you should be able to go ahead and push that in. There you go. And then this should wiggle its way out, just like that. Oh, and there's one more push clip over here as well. Yeah, there is. And then there's also this one push clip next to the side, on the positive side. So there's one more push clip down there. Now before you go ahead and take the 12mm bolts off the side, go ahead and come in here and take out this orange, white, and blue on your little relay back here, because you're gonna want to have the freedom for these wires to come out when you go ahead and take it off. So you just need to take off those first three. All you gotta do is just kind of peel this up and you can get access to it. So that way we can take the bolts off and just slide it right out. Now these do have a little tab. Just go ahead and lift that tab up with the flathead and then you can just pull it right out. It pops out easy, and that'll give you access to these. And then we'll go ahead and just kind of free these up. So that way when we do take it off, we can just slide it right out. You don't want anything getting caught up. So just do that and it'll help you out, trust me. Now all you gotta do is just take off the two 12mm bolts on each side. Well, there's technically four, two on each side. And then you can go ahead and pull this tail tidy kit out, or the whale tail out, to put the tail tidy kit in. Now if you went ahead and took those wires out before, it should just slide right out. It just pops out of these two holes there where the wires come out of. And then you'll have access to the stock turn signals, so we can go ahead and take this cover off, take these lights out, and we can switch them over to the new one, and then we can wire it all back up. Now taking this old tail piece apart is kind of self-explanatory. You got like 4 or 5 millimeters Allen keys to take off the first section, which is right here. And then you got 2 more to take off the middle section. And then that last bracket there, you have another 5mm and 2 Phillips head screws. And then the whole part just comes apart. And then you have access now to your old turn signals, which you can go ahead and take these 2 bolts out and then take the wires out. Now the turn signals are just held in by a single 8mm bolt, so you can go ahead and take that apart, and then you can just slide the wire right out of it. Now I like to do these 1 turn signal at a time so I don't mismatch them. It's kind of hard to do it, but I just like to do it that way. And if you do happen to forget, the blue turn signal is your right and the orange is your left. And these do come with a little bracket. When you take the bolt out, you just take the bracket over, move it on to the next piece. That's all you got to do. It's just a little metal bracket with a rubber bushing. That's about it. It's pretty simple. It's straightforward. You'll notice it when you take it off. But that's all you got to do in order to switch these over. So I'm going to go ahead and swap the other one over, and then we can go ahead and work on getting this back in. When you're putting the license plate light together, these are 2 separate pieces here. As you can see, you just slide the wire through this little bracket here, and then you have 2 7mm heads in there that'll tighten that down, and then you can go ahead and then slide this wire through into the back end of that, and then you do have some bolts down here that you'll go ahead and tighten that with right there. Now this light just gets attached with these 2 little Allen key heads. They're like a medium size when they come in the pack. You'll know what they are. And they're just like a small little 2.5mm Allen key. So then you can go ahead and tighten that down and get that attached. Now this does come with 4 little clips. As you can see, you can just go ahead and tuck those wires down, and that way you can run it along and not have any wires exposed when it is mounted on there, because those 2 wires are just going to tuck through the back of the bike. So all you gotta do is just kind of put those in there. They're the same heads as the back light, so just a little 2mm Allen head, and go ahead and get those neat and tucked away. Now this part here actually threw me off a little bit. EVOTECH wants you to do green to red and orange to black instead of for red to orange or red to red. My color blindness does not help me with this right here, but I feel like that's orange going to red, or it could be red to red, but they want it this way. They want black to orange and red to green. I don't know why they chose these colors, but that's how they want it. Now this part is totally optional. I always put it back together, so I just have it. But you technically don't need this stock piece anymore, but I don't recommend throwing it away. If you ever want to trade your bike in or sell it, or vice versa, whatever you want to do, at least in Maryland, in order to pass state inspection, this piece needs to be on there because the license plate has to be farther than the rear tire. So I always recommend keeping it because these things can be expensive and you don't want to have to pay that and lose it on your sale, trade in, whatever. So I always recommend keeping them, keep all the parts in them. When you put it back together, just remember that these threads on these 4 bolts are bigger than these threads, so make sure you have these 2 bolts correct. So that's all you got to remember when putting this back together, if you decide to, but I do just want to put that little disclaimer out there because you may need it in the future. Now when you go ahead and get this piece on here, make sure you pull your wires through the small holes that it comes with, that you initially pulled your wires through. And I recommend just getting this in there and get the bolts kind of tight just so it holds it in place, and then go ahead and plug your wires in and make sure that it works before you start tightening things down. Because in case something happens, you want to make sure that you have the ability to take it off easy instead of putting it all together and finding out something didn't work. Now if you remember when you took this off, you had an orange, a white, and a blue. Now you have a black. That is your tail light, or not your tail light, but your license plate light. So blue is your right turn signal, orange is your left, black is now your tag light. So make sure you plug those in. They just slide right back in. They'll clip. It's really easy. And then go ahead and take your key, turn it on, and make sure your turn signals and lights work. So as you can see here, here's my left turn signal working. If you cover that out, here is your tag light, nice and bright. If I block that up, and we'll go ahead and turn the right turn signal on. And here is the right turn signal working, so we know that they work. We can go ahead and start tying everything back up and getting it situated nice and neat. Now don't forget that there is a small little rubber clip down here that you have to slide that back onto so that this doesn't move around anymore. What I did do, I ran all my wires through, tucked them through the small little clip down there, and then I just went ahead and zip tied them together because I'm just going to shove them in here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my little toolkit back in, and then you'll never see any of this again. So I just want to go ahead and do that so it gets all neat, and then I'm going to go ahead and start putting the side fairings back on. Now the probably worst one, if you have the battery still installed, is trying to get these ones back in. What I had to do was actually remove the battery and lift it up a little bit, or not remove the battery, but at least remove this tether. And then you can lift it up and you can get access down there so you can really push it in and get this clip in there again. And then all you have to do is go ahead and put your clips back in here and your 5mm bolts there and there, and then your one last big bolt back down there. This obviously is just Velcro, it just slides right back in. There's one little rubber clip that just pushes in, and then you can go ahead and put this whole side back together. What I recommend doing for these, especially when you're trying to get into the hard to reach areas like down inside there, I recommend pushing these up, and then you can go ahead and get a grip on them, and you can kind of grab them by the clip here, and you can push it in, and you'll feel it clip, and then once it clips, you can go ahead and push that tab back down and it'll lock, and that'll hold your clips in place. That is the easiest way I've found to do it, especially like in there. That was how I had to do that. But otherwise, like for here, you can just go ahead and grab it, and then when it is in place, you'll just go ahead and push it in, and then you're good to go. Now once you got your sides all put back on, this top piece here can be a little bit challenging. And what you want to do is you kind of want to get it on there, and then there's like 2 little grooves you can feel, and then you're going to want to slide it in. It definitely takes 2 hands. As you can see here, this little clip can be a pain. Kind of hard to see, but I have kind of chipped it a little bit, just trying to get it in that groove and then sliding it down. It's a pain. You might have to spread these apart a little bit. You may have to loosen this back up just to get it in there. So I recommend a little bit of help if you can get it, but if not, this is going to be a pain. Now you'll obviously know once you get it in, when it clips in, you'll know. For right now, I'm only putting one clip in because I broke one and I'm waiting on some more to show up. So one is fine for now because the seat's gonna hold it anyways. I just took it from what would be the side, or I took the one from here and put it on the side. So that's all I did, but I will be getting another replacement for that. So now all I gotta do is go ahead and put the seat back on and you're all done. Now don't forget to put your 2 bolts back in for this back seat, or the front seat rather. And you can go ahead and put your toolkit back in, and then all you have to do is rest the back seat in there and clip it in. And then she's done. Now if you have an American license plate, you're gonna need to go ahead and add these little extenders here. You wanna grab the little bolt with the round head so it slides in there. And then all you gotta do is just go ahead and slide that in there and then put a bolt on the back of it. And obviously with the American license plate, you need to add these attachments here, but then you can just go ahead and put your regular bolts through it and you're good to go on that aspect. Now you can adjust them a little bit, depends on where you want it. You want it lower, you want it higher. Just keep in mind that there's only so much room you can go up because of your bolts here. So you just gotta figure out where that happy place is for you, and then you can go ahead and get that all finished up. So on this nice, very gloomy, rainy, cold day, here is your finished product. You got your nice EVOTECH Tail Tidy Kit, a lot better than that big old whale tail that they had on there before. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you can really see what it looks like. I hope you guys enjoy. Catch you around.